Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to call the meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Chair Burns.
Here.
Vice Chair Markert.
Here.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal.
Here.
Commissioner Carney. And Commissioner Long.
Here.
Okay, can I get a motion and second for the, what am I calling for? A motion for the approval of the agenda, but we have some changes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Renee Jaddison, Executive Director. Yes, 2 changes. So Mayor Carney would like to call into the meeting at 4:40. He wanted to be present for item 9A.
Okay.
So I just wanted to request that we take items out of order depending on how we're going with the agenda, if we can make that accommodation for him.
So moved.
One more change too. We also received an email from the individuals in 9A Concourse. They would like to amend this request. There was an email that I've shared with you all that we received on Friday. Basically, the context of it is that their board's agreeable to prolonging their request to cancel the market by amending their September request to cancel, instead asking the board to vote on September 30th to agree to direct staff to submit a relocation alternative application to CTAC, which is the city's review committee, by October 9th for CTAC's October 16th agenda review. And then they'd also like to request that on September 30th, the CRA board adopt their proposed rubric to be fair and consistent to all applicants in requesting to cancel the green market for private events. And they've drafted these documents to avoid, I guess they said, further delays in approving or reviewing their application. So I just wanted to find out how we'd like to handle this item. If we want to amend this, we could leave it on here and still discuss the matter broadly, and not specifically what they're requesting, if you would like. But they're requesting to withdraw what they have on the agenda currently.
What would you like us to do? What do you think we should do today?
I think we should still discuss it.
I do too, because I think there's a lot more involved in just this. This is bleeding over into different departments in the city and all that. So
we can leave it on, because we had on there, let me see, our subject of the agenda was a request from Concourse regarding the green market on April 18th, 2026. So we could leave that subject on there, but allow the withdrawal of the request.
Sure. How is it, Commissioner Long?
Works for me.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Vice Chair Markert.
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Carney. Commissioner Long.
Yes.
And Chair Burns.
Yes. Okay. So we are now at the part of the agenda for public comment. Do we have anyone for public comment? I know that we have some phone calls that have come in, so do we have anybody in the audience? Okay, it's now time for public comment.
Hi, Yvonne Odom, 3905 Lawson Boulevard, and I'm President Delray Beach CDC. So what I'm doing is continuing my comments for the City Commission on about our cooperation with the CDC and the CRA. We've been around since 1992, and I say it because a lot of people don't realize we've been quietly doing things since then. But there are some problems that we've gotten ourselves faced because of what has happened years ago with the LDRs. Fortunately, there are some who said that they are working on it because they heard my comments the last time. So I'm saying it again and reiterating some things, because what we like to do is see what can we do to expedite things. For example, our repair and restore, there we have people that's been waiting 3 to 5 years to get on that. The LDRs were not favorable to those of us in the set community because
Greetings.
how it was
My name
done.
is Dr. Deborah J. Wright. I reside at 815.
I think the public
Do I-
comment by accident. That's a mistake. Sorry.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
So I get
Please,
30 more seconds.
yes.
No, I was saying because we are facing the current LDRs, and it has hampered a lot of things we are trying to do in our community. We have 2 lots that were sold as 2 separate lots, but according to somebody records, It's only one lot, so we'd like to see if that can be cleared up, because now that's contradictory. You know, you can't tell us one thing and the sale of the lots can't tell us something else. So what we're asking as a CDC is, let's see how we can work together so that we can do what we were granted to do and what we have allowed ourselves to do that won't cost the city any money, really. We just need policy. We need cooperation with what's already in your budget. We're not asking for more money, but it's very difficult, the process that you all have laid out. And that's all we're asking, to see how we can work together to move this process forward. Because we're not a fly-by-night organization. We've been here a long time, and our people who are homeowners, they have been homeowners for a long time. And they're not there to get a home and sell it like what's happening now. So once again, thank you for what you've done already, because I've seen some progress already, but I think we can do a whole lot more if you all will let us be a real true partner. Because remember, when we started this ship, we were the only nonprofit around. And the CRA literally gifted us lots, and we were able to build homes. So thank you very much, and hopefully I just wanted to make a public part of the public record. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. George Long, 46 North Swinton Avenue. I generally don't like to complain, but sometimes you have to bring things up that are bothering you. Now, my understanding is that the City Commission, the CR meetings, you don't really interact with whoever's making the public comments. They just make it and you don't ask questions and grill and stuff like that. So I'd like to know how you can make a knock-knock joke progress under those circumstances. I go knock-knock and you just stand there and stare at me. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, but if you'd like to make an exception.
Who's there?
You better be ready.
Polly,
Polly who?
Polly the grumpy parrot who doesn't want a stupid cracker. And that's her fault for making me come up here.
So good.
I told him I was looking forward to his jokes, because he's always got jokes. Marjorie Waldo with Arts Garage. I wanted to share some good news first. Arts Garage is the recipient of the 2025 Boca Raton Reader's Choice Award winner for our art gallery.
Whoa.
Thank you. We are also the Guide to Florida's Best of Florida winner for theater venues. So I wanted to share. Those are both for 2025.
Congratulations.
I am proud to announce that our returning family series will be called, quote, the Kimmel Family Series at Arts Garage, and is funded for 25-26 in its entirety by the Virginia and Harvey Kimmel Family Fund. I invite you to come see the shows with the kids that come from the local public schools. Everything's for free to the local public school students. I also want to thank Executive Director Renee Jadising, Commissioner Julie Casal, and tomorrow, Commissioner Tom Markert, for participating in our annual campaign videos. We appreciate the support. There's still time. Ms. Burns and Mr.
Video?
Long, there's still time.
Video?
Yeah. No pressure.
We'll take
I'm
it
just
under
saying.
consideration.
I'm just saying. Your support means the world, and I'm really grateful. As today is the last day of our final A-Guide grant with the CRA, today is September 30th, end of the fiscal year. I've got one more submission, but I felt compelled to speak directly to Renee, Gina, Lori Hayward, make sure she knows, who taught me the logic model in 2016, much to her frustration. It took hours. She should have been paid extra. Many of the past and current staff at the CRA, and perhaps most importantly, all of the past and present CRA board members. Arts Garage would not have accomplished all that we have without your support, which began in 2011 when the CRA visioned the Creative City Collaborative of Delray Beach, aka Arts Garage. Since fiscal year 13-14, as a direct result of the A-Guide grants through the CRA, Arts Garage has produced more than 3,000 events. Your board has supported the photography, videography, hotel fees, technical fees, and performance fees that have allowed us to grow into a world-class venue serving all of Delray Beach, South Florida, and frankly, at this point, a lot of the East Coast. We have worked diligently and passionately to provide a return on your investment that we hope will continue as the city budget for 25-26 adopts us. Our board of directors, our staff, and hundreds of volunteers are incredibly grateful, and I love every one of you for all that you've done to support us. Look forward to continued collaborations and support.
Hello, Max Zengage, 1705 Northwest 4th Ave, representing Delray Concord Foundation. I just want to make sure that, because I've been the applicant and some words got changed around and I've lost several months in some processes due to that happening. So I just want to make sure that our item is still on. It's just the changed of item, not that a discussion can actually do something meaningful, and that we still get our 7 minutes of presentation.
I think the 7 minutes is fine. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to discuss it in total at that time.
Yeah, and that we did request a different vote, but still a vote regardless. Yeah, that's all.
Is that the end of public comment? So we're going to go to the phone calls? Oh, it's video, okay.
Greetings. My name is Dr. Deborah J. Wright. I reside at 815 Northwest 2nd Street, Delray Beach, Florida. Of course. I have been participating in meetings for years with the CRA as well as with SET, and I don't see anything moving forward on the CRA vacant land that's on that is basically commercial land or property. And I asked the CRA to wait until the set transformation plan is updated before any decisions are made to do anything on that land, as I was very, very sure that the set transformation plan will incorporate diversity for this entire community as well as the city of Delray Beach. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear an answer or reply to my concerns. Have a good day. Yes, this is a continuation. This is for Dr. Deborah J. Wright at 815 Northwest 2nd Street, Delray Beach, Florida. I forgot to include in my comment, which was less than 3 minutes, that I'm also concerned about my understanding about you wanting to put containers on shipping containers on West Atlantic, and I am adamantly opposed to that, as I think that it would be aesthetically unpleasing to see such a thing. Thank you. Have a good day.
Montre Bennett, 323 Northwest 2nd Avenue. I have been participating in all these meetings for a long time, and I don't want anything moving forward on CRA vacant on commercial property until the said transformation plan update is being completed. Thank you for your time.
Reginald Cox, 715 Martin Luther King Drive, Delray Beach, Florida, 33444. We're asking the CRA board, and I do want to thank you for the opportunity for leaving a message online. It's my birthday. I wanted to come stop by and see you all, but it's my birthday, so I'll leave a message. But we're asking the board to take the time, and we want to remind you to wait until the set transformation plan update process is complete before soliciting further development activity in the set. The update is moving in a highly engaged, collaborative manner, consistent with the principles and the vision of the plan. There have been several ideas for potential partnerships and funding and leveraging opportunities, creative leveraging opportunities that should be analyzed and considered for recommendation and implementation as the process plays out. That stuff needs to be vetted out. You know, in 2019, the community pleaded to the CRA board to follow the community planning process, and unfortunately that didn't happen, and it resulted in a 4-year lawsuit on the commercial land. Also, we must remember that important connections that need to be made to the CRA plan, the Delray Beach Comprehensive Plan. Matter of fact, the strategic partnership element in the comprehensive plan came out of the initial set transformation plan planning process to connect with that plan, and we do not want to miss opportunities in light of the dynamics. Many of the dynamics have changed since then, and we don't want to miss those opportunities to connect the dots. So we ask the board respectfully to wait till the process is over, it's moving rapidly, because we want to be able to get it right. What's going to go there will be there for the next 50, 75 years, and land is limited, and we want to be able to really, really achieve the vision of the set transformation plan for all of Delray. Thank you.
Is that it?
Hello, my name is Margaret Harvey. I'm a longtime resident of Delray Beach at 610 Southwest 7th Street in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm calling with my concerns about moving forward with the CRA vacant-owned commercial property. Please, I don't want anything to be done until the set transformation update is completed. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. If there are no other public comment is closed. Okay, next item on the agenda is the regular board meeting minutes. Can we have a motion and a second to approve these minutes?
It should be the consent agenda.
It's part of the consent
It's all
agenda?
consent, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So moved. Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Deputy Vice Chair Cassell,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney, Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Chair Burns,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Markert.
Yes.
Okay, we are on to old business, and Christine, you have a presentation.
Yes. Do we have? Okay. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Christine Tibbs, Assistant Director. This is an update on the tenants at the Edmonds Main Building at 98 Northwest 5th Avenue. On June 1st, do you have the next slide? Sorry. On June 1st, 2024, we did execute a lease with Touch a Posh Salon for Suite 102. And then subsequently on November 18th, 2024, we did preliminarily approve a site development funding assistance grant in an amount of $35,171.25 to assist Touch a Posh with the cost of interior improvements. However, since the execution of the lease agreement and the preliminary approval of the grant, there have been several amendments to extend the build-out period, and the latest one was an extension to December 31st, 2025. However, there hasn't been much progress, and on September 9th, Touch a Posh, the owner of Touch a Posh, reached out to CRA staff to terminate the lease, given various issues and the delayed progress on completing the necessary design and construction documents. A mutual termination of lease agreement was entered into on September 22nd, and the last date of the lease is actually today, September 30th, 2025. So given that there was a mutual termination of lease agreement and the unit itself is left untouched, it is ready to go out again for applications for tenants to take over that space at 102 at the building. So we are proposing to issue a notice of intent to lease for that space. First floor, approximately 650 square feet. Yes, 650 square feet, and the lease terms would be very similar to as it went out before, similar to the other tenants, 4 years with 2 options to renew for 1 year each, total of potentially 6 years, $18 per square foot, 6% increase annually with the build-out period open for negotiation depending on what the selected tenant needs for their individual interior build-out. The CRA does intend to publish the notice of intent to lease for that unit on October 20th with about a 45-day period for it to be open to reach as many people as possible. And the application process, tenant selection process, and funding assistance available to them is very similar to, or exactly the same as the rest of the tenants within the same building. The application was attached as one of the exhibits if you have any questions or additions or comments related to it. The selection process would be through a selection committee made up of 3 CRA staff members, 1 city staff member, 1 community partner. And then the negotiated agreement would be executed by the CRA executive director as previously approved by the CRA board. And just an overview of the current tenants right now. Rabbit Hole does have a building permit. They did give me an update recently that they needed to switch out one of the subs, so they do need to submit that application, get that approved in order to get going. But she is staying on top of that. Stella Mix podcast studio is open in Unit 103. They are actively taking on clients and recording. 104 Sunup Skin, she executed her lease agreement September 22nd. She was actually one of the items on the consent agenda for a project consultancy grant, so she's getting her design and construction documents hopefully started tomorrow. And then 105 Atlantic Current, he's been open since 2024 in the space. Multimedia magazine publishing company.
Wow.
Okay. And that ends my presentation. Over to the board.
Okay. I just have one question. If the unit that was terminated or ended, if the unit was not touched, why are we waiting till October 20th to put it out?
Well, we just wanted to allow time to do a little bit of advertising, so give people time to get ready that it's coming back out again. So we'll do a notice announcing that date. We can do it earlier. We were just trying to see if there are people
So the advertising starts right away?
We would start, yes, absolutely.
Oh,
we would
okay.
advertise it, yes, exactly. Just saying that the actual document will be available on October 20th. So we'll start that process now and start getting the word out.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
I do, thank you. It's good that we're advertising. Renee, or whoever wants to answer this, when we put out an advertisement, how approximately what are we getting back? Are you getting a lot of interest? Is it sometimes like,
well,
how many about people? I know sometimes we're restricting what the use is, but I'm just curious, are we getting a lot of interest?
We are. So the first go round in 2024, when we put it out, we had about 15 applicants. Some
Okay.
didn't pan out because we still have like a process and criteria. So we're asking for them to have no more than $1 million in revenue. They have to be in business, I believe, for at least a year or 2, so that they're not just a startup business. We want this for someone who's existing, trying to
Right.
scale up a little bit more. We ask for a business plan and to see some of their financials. So I think that's sometimes people might not want to provide that, or they submit it without and we don't review it.
Got it.
So we have, it's not a typical lease because it's not a typical amount. I mean, the rent comes out to just under $1,000, which is
Amazing.
very good in Delray,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like a kind of a community service that we have. So
Right.
that's the reason why we have that criteria. But yeah, we have had quite a few. I think the last go around we had 4 or 5 people submit, and then 2 were selected from that grouping. So I think when we go out, we'll still get people. It's just a matter of making sure they have the documents, making sure that they're hitting the scoring criteria that we have. And if we see that it's an issue, we would definitely bring it to the board.
Thank you.
I know we talked before we brought up about the salons. We were saying there's a
Yes.
lot of hair services in salon. Maybe we shouldn't have salon. The board said do not do that, to go
Right.
out and let everyone apply, which we did. And we still got good responses.
Great, thank you.
Yes. All right.
Are there any other questions? All right. Thank you. All right.
So we are, sorry,
Wait,
I
one
just
more
want to,
thing. Oh, yeah.
we are seeking board approval to put out the notice of intent to lease as it is attached to this
So
agenda
moved.
item.
Do we need a second one?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Carney, Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
and Deputy Vice Chair Casal.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Moving on to new business. Renee?
Yes, so given the time, I wanted to find out if it's okay to take items out of order at this point, so we can start with the budget, which would be 9B,
Okay.
9B, and 9C. Those kind of go together, and then we can just see how we are going with timing.
Okay.
Great.
If that's okay. Okay, thank you. So Gina will start up the budget presentation.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Gina Clayton, the Finance and Operations Director of the CRA, and I'm here to present our 25-26 budget for approval. Nothing has really changed significantly from our last meeting. We just cleaned up some line items and such. I do have a table here that shows the proposed budget by sub area, and as you can see, the bulk of it, like 67.6 million, which is like 65% of the sub area budget, is going to the Northwest neighborhood, and like 45 million of that is Pompeii. So just to give you a little perspective as to where our money is going. And we have like 21% and 21.5 million basically going to the West Atlantic Avenue we have budgeted. And the other larger line item is 9.3 million for the Southwest neighborhood, and that encompasses about 8% of that budget. Okay. And then as you can see, we have, and we're basing that on our goals and objectives and the CRA priorities, which is obviously to end the slum and blight, and completing, and then everything will be contingent in the West on the set plan transformation, and then identifying sites for acquisition within the CRA district. I can't see that.
I can take up I'll take.
Yeah, it's like, wait, no, I have it here. Okay. It's just like, I don't have my glasses.
Do you want to borrow mine?
No, I'm good.
No, I got it.
I'm good. I was like, wait, what did I have? Sorry.
That happens to me every day.
I know. I'm like, oh wait, I didn't put my
And they're
glasses
usually on my
on.
head.
I've been having allergies, so I'm like, sorry. Okay, so again, we base the budget on the CRA priorities, and so we have going out for bids for property acquisitions, as I said, and then in the Northwest neighborhood, we are looking in the 600 block. We're looking for construction for affordable and workforce housing and mixed use construction, and then also part of that is the implementation of all of these projects, which is surveys, bids, and then bid issuance for construction. And the same thing with the Northwest 800 block would be the construction documents, permitting, and construction. And then we have the demolition of future commercial and affordable housing projects in the Northwest neighborhood on the 11th Avenue and the recently purchased 235 Southeast 2nd Avenue. And then we just have continuing work with the city, which for the Old School Square Master Plan, the Crest Theater, Historic Preservation, and the Southwest neighborhood with the infrastructure improvements and the removal of the roundabouts on Southwest and Southwest 2nd Street improvements. And as I had already mentioned, with the city, we already have Pompey Park, the renovation plan, which is a very exciting project for the city and the CRA. And, okay, the next slide. Yes, sorry, who's controlling? Okay, and then we also have additional projects. One is to upgrade the CRA offices with HVAC painting and the exterior roof and siding replacement. We have, and that'll take place in this fiscal year. And then continued maintenance of our properties on Northwest 5th Avenue. And the maintenance and exterior of the historic building at 102 Northwest 5th Avenue, and the lots and alleyway, and basically major repairs and replacements at the Arts Warehouse with roofing and exterior and air conditioning and the flooring. The flooring was a major issue. And also putting in security cameras at all of our CRA properties to tie in with the Delray Beach PD. So we're asking, I don't know if there are any questions, but the staff is asking for you to approve our resolution, to approve our budget for 25-26. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Can I get a?
Do you want a motion?
Sure.
Can I just?
If there aren't any questions or discussion.
I'll make a motion and then a second if we can have a moment of discussion.
Sure.
I made the motion.
I'll make a second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Long?
Wait, can we
Oh,
have a
sorry.
moment of discussion?
You want to discuss it?
Go ahead. A couple things. When you and I spoke last, we were talking about how the fear and concern that Pompey Park is actually going to be costing so much more as we go along. At the current moment, though, we have $45 million. That's substantial. So are we in a good place, or do we need to start looking at that differently?
I think for right now we are. So
Okay.
there are a lot of active conversations going on right now with the city staff and the construction manager at risk about the pricing and going out for the actual bidding. So they're just looking at cost estimates at this point and actually starting to go out to bid very soon. So once they have the actual real numbers, we'll see where it's at. If it's close, and if it ends up having to come to request any modifications, that would come to the board, which we've made it really clear to the
Right.
construction management team. But I mean, costs have gone up since the cost estimates were even done over a year ago.
Right. That's
So-
the concern.
Right, but
Substantially.
It
not a
is,
little.
yes, potentially, yes. But also remember, this is a multi-year project.
No, right.
So they wouldn't even start construction till probably next year, which is another budget year for us.
Right.
So I think with the 45 million, it's
We're in
fine for now because the city would be phasing that out over a few years anyway. So we would maybe, if it came to be and we wanted to put anything more, then we'd discuss that later. And I think the question also is if we want to do that, because 45 million is still a substantial number. So where are we with, how high is the ceiling, I guess, at this point? We're pretty firm on 45 is the number. That's what we've told the team, and we've been sticking to that. So we'll see what happens when they get the actual cost, though. But 45 is our number. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the Northwest Neighborhood Infrastructure Project. So we're budgeting, I believe, about $15 million. That's the large $80 million project. It's also the project that we discussed taking out the bond, taking out debt for that,
Right.
which is also important for the CRAs to do. So we've been working really closely with the city on timing of when that would be appropriate to do it, because we have to spend within 3 years.
Right.
So we're kind of getting close to that point to start having more serious discussions, I think, about timing of doing that. We've talked to the city's person that issues the bonds or assists with that, the consultant. So they've already given us estimates, and we're just kind of waiting and looking at timing. But it's still on the books. And I know we had discussed the parking garages too. We put a line item in there talking, well, just parking in general. So if we wanted to look at any parking situations later on, we put that into the budget so it's there, just for something in the future to discuss.
You're amazing, Renee. One other
Foresight, you have
thing-
foresight. We have to
yeah,
think into
no,
the
you
future.
you do such a great job for our residents and for us. I really appreciate you and your staff all the time.
Thank you.
The 12 million for acquisition, you know what I'm going to say. I would love it if we could get a consensus to go back out and make an inquiry about the old Plamosa. It's still sitting there. Nothing has happened. Things are changing. Things are very different in the school district. Lower enrollment. Schools don't have money. The system is not doing well, and they may appreciate an influx of revenue. So I would like it if you could maybe re-engage on the question of where are they at in terms of selling that, because I could go back through all the statistics about, the elderly people are becoming homeless. That's the highest demographic. We could fit, I think we said about 240 units on that parcel. When I spoke to Smith Hensey, there are still tax credits that would benefit us. There's a lot that could be very, very good for our city, and it's part of our mission, and we have the 12 million in an acquisition fund. So if my colleagues are interested in just Renee making an inquiry, I would like her to do that. There's a Mr. Margaret said yes. Ms. Burns?
Yes,
Thank you. You have
absolutely.
your consensus.
So I just want to make an observation, which is that we, as a board, wouldn't even continue a discussion about analyzing the property on Artist Alley to talk about workforce housing, but we're going to now go back for what, the third, fourth time to ask the same question?
It's
If the
significantly
school board's going to
less.
sell us a piece of land that they've never shown any interest
Yeah,
in
but we don't
selling.
have 21 million, but we have 12. And I think at the last assessment on that property, it was something
So
like
I'm not going to say
9.
we shouldn't do it. I thought we already had a consensus to move forward to ask them about this.
Well,
somewhat
I want her to
recently.
ask again. The last time we asked, then everybody stopped the conversation, and so I'm asking her to ask
Did we
again.
ask a few months ago?
I did.
No, it
Yeah.
was about
well, it was
5 or
probably
6.
less.
So it's going to
Yeah.
ask like every quarter if they're going to
Yeah, I
sell
think
it?
we
Yeah,
should.
so- this is stupid.
Eventually, they'll say
Doing it,
yes.
yeah. I mean,
No.
we would do
It's a
it
little
since
desperate,
before.
isn't it?
before
No,
I got
it's not
here.
We sell it now? We sell it
No.
now?
So
Why not?
when was the last time
think
you
it
spoke
was
with?
About 6 months
It's
ago.
probably, yeah, it's like last year or early this
the
year.
last time I
year.
asked, which was about 6
It's been
months
a little
ago.
while, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a year. But that's what happens. We ask, and then the conversation kind of stops, or they say they're not interested, or not right now, or check back later. So it's always
Yeah,
been this
but
kind
you
of
know,
like,
there's turnover, and
Right.
the financial situation's changed. So I think making it a phone call and making an inquiry
Yeah, I can
doesn't
send-
hurt. We
Just
have
lost
$12 million.
5,000 students, so they need the money.
Exactly, that's the point. There you go.
all right, I will ask.
Thank you,
Nothing wrong with
Renee.
the
I appreciate that.
conversation.
No
This
problem.
is super exciting. Once again.
Okay. Did we get a vote on that?
No, we need
Okay.
to take the vote.
Commissioner Long,
Sure.
Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Cassell,
Yes.
and Commissioner Carney.
Okay, so we are, Renee, you are next.
Yes.
We're on 9C.
Yes. So
Okay.
budget approved. I think Mayor Carney should be calling in soon, so we'll keep going. Okay. So the next item goes along with the budget. So this is the approval of the goals and objectives analysis, establishing goals, objectives, and performance measures and standards for programs and activities undertaken by the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency for fiscal year 2025-2026 to comply with Florida statute section 189.0694. So if you recall, in 2024, the state adopted House Bill 713, which applies to all special districts, not just CRAs, but this basically adds an additional annual report that is a little bit vague on the structure of it. We came up with a structure for us to put together based on our budget. So, but there wasn't like, I guess, hard and fast measures. It was just come up with some kind of annual report for all special districts. It was a little bit tricky with CRAs because we have our own separate statute that outlines a pretty detailed annual report, but this was just something that applied to all special districts, so obviously we're complying. So we printed it out. It's basically just looking at what we spent for the fiscal year. We're in the process now of preparing our annual report for last fiscal year, which is supposed to be posted on our website by December 1st. This is just basically setting up and having the board approve the same program, basically, or analysis for this coming fiscal year. We just want to have a board vote on this before putting it onto our website. It just says establish, and we're taking that to mean as having board approval.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve this?
Sure, may I ask another question?
Sure.
Forgive me.
Yes.
I'll make the motion. Do you want to make a second? And then I'll make the.
Second for discussion.
Thank you. I remember last year when you had to do this, and you did a great job, and it's perfect. I like this document. I think it's very easy for anybody to understand. It's very informative, and thank you. But do you think we're going to ever have a problem with the amount of carry forward money that we have? I know we're carrying forward because we are, we have projects that are in the works, and we're funding them and in advance for our own benefit. But in light of the current environment, the questions about are CRAs really necessary anymore? When we have a document like this that's carrying forward $63 million, do we worry?
I don't think so. In past years, there was something in the CRA statute that talked about not carrying forward monies for more than 3 years.
We couldn't, yeah.
But that was removed
Okay.
a few years ago. So, and also I think with our justification, we have it all.
The large
It's large
projects.
projects, yeah. Over half of that is dedicated to Pompey Park as in one large project. So
Right.
I think we have, putting that picture together. And actually it's more than that because we have $45 million for Pompeii
Right.
and then $15 million, most of that is carry forward for Northwest
Yeah,
Neighborhood.
you're carrying forward a lot of money.
Right, so a big portion of those are actually for substantial projects. So we just keep putting that out there as a reminder that this isn't just money that's sitting around. These
Right.
are
This is
work
committed,
in
dedicated,
process.
exactly. It's committed,
Allocated.
dedicated projects that we've committed to funding.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have a second. We
Yes.
need the vote.
Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney, and Commissioner Long.
Yes.
Renee, continue.
I will continue. So I just received a message from Mayor Carney. He said he'll be calling in 3 minutes. So I think we just keep going.
Okay.
All right. So the next item is a follow-up on the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency's Advisory Committee. Right. So the CRA opened up the application period for our upcoming RAC committee from June 5th to September 15th. We received 15 applicants during that time period, and we're in the process of reviewing them. 7 are ineligible because they live outside of the CRA district. 3 of them are from sub-area 4. 1 is from sub-area 7. 4 are from sub-area 8. So based on our guidelines, we said that we can have up to 8, like basically 1 per sub-area. But as you see here, we have 3. So 3 is a fine number for us because it's on a voting committee. They're submitting reports. So we could open this up again or just go forward with the 3 that we have here and select. At the last meeting, though, before we get there, we discussed amending the guidelines for the terms because right now we just had one-year term. Mm-hmm. Before that, we actually had a 2-year term with the break and then coming back on, but that was adjusted to just one-year term when we were kind of seeing where we were going with this group. So what we're proposing, if we want to look at, is changing it to having 2 term, like a 2-year term, sit off for 1 year, and you can have another 2-year term after that. So you have a total of 4 as the maximum. So this is what we discussed at the last meeting of bringing it back. So if we want to make any adjustments, we would need to do that today, and then we could select at the next month's meeting in October.
I would like to see us move forward with the 2-year terms.
Okay. So 2 years, one,
Everybody?
And a second year option, correct?
right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need a.
And term
So-
limit, correct, term limit. So you can serve for no more than 2 2-year
Correct.
terms. So you're basically the
Yes.
4 years.
Why do we have the sitting off for a year apart? We don't, like, none of our other advisory boards do that.
Well, we just put it on there just to give other people an opportunity, but we don't have to. If you just want to say that they're there for 4 years.
I mean, I just know, like, if it was like planning and zoning or something like that, you just get reappointed right away. There's no, like, I don't care if we have an off year. I just don't know why we're reinventing the wheel. That's my question. If there's a good
It
reason
doesn't
for
matter
it,
to me if
yeah,
it-
if there's a
we
good
can
reason
take
for it, I'm
omit
open
that.
to it. I just don't know why.
We can take it out if you want to have them sit for 2 years and then have to reapply at the 2-year point, or have it for 4 years.
No, they should have to reapply.
So reapply for 2
Yeah.
years.
I'm okay with them reapplying. I just don't think they should have to wait a year.
Okay.
Unless we see that there's, like, a crowd of people clamoring to get on this advisory board that I just haven't seen that like that's the case. I think we
No.
should keep the folks engaged that like are on it
I
and just
agree.
let them reapply and
Yeah.
get right back in.
It's not been my experience. There's a lot of clamoring.
Yeah. So let's.
I
I want to
like
tell them
your
to wait
idea a
it out.
lot.
Then we don't have enough people for a quorum. Like
I think your idea is
Okay.
spot on. But I haven't seen
So-
the clamor yet.
not yet.
So the consensus is to
Does-
remove that 1-year wait period?
Yes, and DJ just brought up a point. We want to stagger the terms so that they're all not
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good
phasing out
call.
at the same
Thank you.
time?
That's a great idea. Yeah, so you have
Okay.
some experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so is that a separate motion that you need, or
I think
does
it's
that
just
go with
direction,
the?
right?
Right, just direction. So
Yeah.
we'll stagger, so that we're basically doing two-year terms.
Right.
You can only do 2 terms, that's the limit.
Yes.
No waiting period of 1 year in between.
Right.
And we'll stagger the terms. So we'll have to do 1 for 3 years? 1 year. Okay, one person would be 1 year. Or 2.
And then to move forward with what we have received, is that the second part of this?
The second part, yes, if we want to just go forward, let me go back here.
Yeah,
We
and
would
not
go
put it out
forward.
anymore.
Correct, so we
Yeah.
would just have 3 people, basically.
I know we spent so much time talking about how we would
Yeah.
try to get from every sub area. I feel like we should try to do that. I think each of us needs to go out and look to find people in these areas to serve.
We can try, we can
Yeah.
put it out again, I mean,
I think we
yeah.
should because we did want the diversity in the
But if they're
in the
not
board
coming,
makeup.
Right.
we don't want to force people to come, because if you have to force them, they're not willing to work, and then they miss the meetings. We want people that actually want to be there and working.
Well,
Yeah,
we still
I'd
have
That's
rather-
time,
just my
right?
feeling.
Because
I'd
then-
rather have engaged members than like token members or placeholders based
Yeah.
on geography. The city isn't that big. I feel like.
Oh, I think he's calling in.
We need to finish this item.
So we'll go forward with the 3, or are we going to put it out again?
I would rather put it out again myself. I think we should try and get from all of the areas.
I say go forward.
I say go forward.
Go forward.
Okay, we have 3
Right.
go forwards and 3.
So
and
3 people,
Yep,
okay.
you got your
All right.
consensus.
one. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So we will do that. So we'll send you all the applications and all the information. So we'll have the selection in our October meeting, and then the schedule is here for the tentative schedule. So the first meeting would be November, then January, March, and May.
Good, need to get
All
going
right.
with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Okay, and then
okay.
Mayor Carney's on the cell phone.
Oh, he's on the, he's not coming on.
While you're waiting for him, if people apply in the meantime, though, we're not doing it till the 28th. So you could still get people applying between here and there for the rack.
Sure. I think so.
I do too.
Okay.
In other words, you're not actually selecting till the 28th. So you still have.
So we can open it again and just.
Let's just open it.
If
If
that's
it's
okay.
not till the 28th, why not just open it?
It won't delay anything. We just
doesn't
click
delay
a
at
button
all.
and turn the application back on. So it doesn't really do
Exactly.
anything to us, and we won't change the schedule. So we'll
No.
just open it back
Exactly.
and close it with enough time for us to review and get on to the
Right.
agenda.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So we'll do that. Now.
I have to
Is
provide
Mayor
this-
Carney gonna be on the phone, or is he trying to come?
He's-
on?
Can he get in on this computer?
He's trying. I guess he's having an issue with the Teams link on his phone.
Yes.
So
He probably didn't download Teams on his phone.
is he on?
He can go in through his browser. Does he need technical assistance?
He needs tech
I can
support.
help him.
Come in as a guest. There's a guest tab.
We tested the comment. I mean,
It worked, ours?
yeah, he has to click the expand. Should I show you?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We are waiting for an international call to come in.
Why don't we just keep going, because Christine can present the West Atlantic
Thank
Master
you.
Plan and I'll
Thank
figure
you.
this out.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'll never be able to meet Adam Frankel's with all this delay here.
No.
Carney's killing us.
That was 2 seconds.
Okay,
Open,
so,
close.
Christine,
So we just wanted to provide an update as to the activities surrounding the amendment or the amendment to the Set Transformation Plan, West Atlantic Master Plan. So on October 17th, 2023, this was when it was first discussed, where it was initiated to update the West Atlantic Master Plan that was adopted in 2020 by the city, also known as the Set Transformation Plan. November 16th, after that, the CRA board voted to proceed of obtaining proposals to update the entirety of the West Atlantic Master Plan. Then on March 27th, we decided to slightly go a different route, and we updated the demographics, which we had presented to the board on October 29th. Following the discussions at the workshop on October 29th, it was decided that more than just the demographics needed to be discussed by the community and updated, and we voted to take on a consultant, independent contractor, to help us with the update of the Set Transformation Plan. And in May of 2025, the CRA entered into an agreement with Inspire Placemaking Collective, which some of you have met at our recent outreach events, to help us with outreach and the eventual amendment to the Set Transformation Plan. So the outreach events started with our kickoff of May 28th. This year. Then we had our second public outreach meeting, August 18th. And then we had our most recent public outreach meeting just yesterday night. And I just wanted to make note that the 3 public outreach meetings have been very well attended by members of the community, and both residents and businesses. We've had upwards of 100 people attend these meetings, listen, pay attention, provide their input, their feedback. So this last meeting, we got a chance to delve into the first 3 principles of the Set Transformation Plan, really look at the action strategies with the community members and business owners, see which action strategies were working, not working, which ones could probably be taken out in the amendment because there were, to allow more energy to be focused elsewhere. The next outreach meeting for the amendment is taking place on August 9th, 2025 at Pompey Park, 5 p.m. So if you can join us, please join us. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. October 9th, Thursday, October 9th at Pompey Park, starting at 5 p.m., where we will be delving into the second set of the 3 guiding principles of the Set Transformation Plan. So if any members of the community want to join us on October 9th, please join us then, because that will be one of the final outreach meetings before we present a draft of the plan to the community. So that is the meeting where, if you haven't been able to make the rest of the meetings and you want to provide your feedback for Inspire Placemaking and the CRA to take in and use for the draft, please come out and support the plan amendment process. And then from there, we are hoping to draft the update and bring it to the board and the community for further feedback. And we are hoping that in December of this year, we bring it back to the board for final approval before it moves on to the city. So that is, in a nutshell, the big overview for the Set Transformation Plan update process.
Thank you, Christine. It has been wonderful to attend those meetings and see the community together working. It's amazing, and thank you for all the work that you guys have been doing. I'm enjoying myself. Anybody else have anything they want to say or have any questions they want to ask?
No, thank you for the information.
I just want to say thanks for those meetings. Those outreach meetings have been so successful for the city. This one has been fabulous. I've been to most of them, and it's great to see the community, stepping up, putting their input in so that we can get it right. So I think it's great.
Oh, I did want to say that our consultant Inspire did say that out of all the communities that Inspire works with across the nation, they've never seen so many residents come out to an outreach meeting and so consistently. So
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Like, that is a Delray. That's just the norm.
They have consistently shared that since May, that they always take that back to their national meetings and share that with everybody, all the project managers across the country, and they're
That's so
always
cool.
all surprised that so many people come out.
That's so
Very
cool.
good. That is cool. Very cool. We are a national model.
Hi, everybody. Sorry.
Well, hello there.
Hi there, Hi there, Chair. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad you can join us.
Thank you.
International.
Okay.
We did it.
This international call, are we ready to move forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, let me go back. Okay. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, we received a request from Concours d'Elegance to cancel the Green Market or relocate because they're looking to expand their event. So they do have a presentation, so I'm not sure if you want to listen to that first and then we can have some discussion. But, you know, basically we were trying to find an option to share the space to keep the Green Market in its current place. I'll just show you two maps quickly before we get started. So when we submit our CTAC application to the city, we submit it with two site plans. So this is our front lawn application, which is the alternative site plan, and this is our typical site plan. So if there's an applicant or the DDA or the city or someone's coming in requesting to utilize this space, we always propose an alternative, which is this space that takes up the front of Cornell and wraps around a little bit onto Swinton.
This is your alternative
This
plan?
is ours, yes.
Okay.
I'm just showing just so you can get a layout of.
No, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
So in past years, I believe the car show was more in the center area, and then we still had our setup there for the Green Market. But I believe since it's been doing so well and wonderful that they're looking to expand, which would be utilizing the space. We have a permit that's approved from the city with 4 dates that we cannot be in the space because of events. That's St. Patrick's Day, the Christmas or holiday parade. We also have Delray Affair, and there's one more. July 4th.
Go over there.
Oh, can we mute?
Tell them we have more than
Can we,
him
or
on the line.
can we turn the sound down there? Okay, I think we can turn it down. So those are the 4 days in our application where we are told by the city that we cannot be there because of city activities that are taking place. So right now we have a private event who's coming in and looking to utilize the entire space. We as staff don't really have I wouldn't say to not have the Green Market, and the applicants here came to the board and made these requests, which is why we're trying to facilitate the conversation. But typically, it would go through the CTAC process, and staff would review it at the city level and contact us if need be, but this has kind of gone a different route. So
Okay.
here we are.
All right, so do you guys agree that we should hear the presentation first by the applicant?
I agree.
Okay. Mrs. Zingay, will you go ahead and...
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'd like to recruit Stephen Green and the board to hold the sign. So, you've seen the emails.
Is that a paid position, Max? Is that a paid position?
Definitely not. So we are going through these city and CRA and public processes as unpaid volunteers, taking on personal stress for non-personal community gains for the CRA district tax-paying businesses. What we have tried now in year 5 of the International Historic Delray Concord Elegance is we have quite literally reached our 2030 benchmark 5 years early. We have $10 billion worth of net worth participants that are sharing their museum-owned collectibles that are, as Bob calls it, an international cultural experience. We are sharing this for free with the Delray residents, with Delray visitors, and over 10,000 people. We project 15,000 people this year. We've gone through the CTAC process for many years. We've gone through city commission processes for many years. This was deemed the process for this after 3-4 months. So we are all of a sudden back here. So we do apologize that it's taken so long, but we have to follow the process, and the process no one has really done before, so we are defining and figuring it out as we go. So this is where we stand. What we have determined when we submitted to CTAC was step 1, submit to CTAC. Step 2, okay, now go have those meetings, and obviously we want to avoid that next year and have the meetings first. But now that we've established that that's the process. So we spoke with Renee, and she said it was easier to cancel, as you'd already do the week before for Delray Affair, because of the economic impact to Delray taxpaying businesses. We don't care if you cancel or relocate. We actually want you to relocate so that we can help mutually exist and actually send you thousands of customers for the green market. So what we have done is we've proposed a relocation across the street. The green market was held here for 20 years before. We're only proposing this for 1 day. We are proposing to pay for any differences in the city fees, so that it truly costs you $0. We have even secured private property on Atlantic and Swinton frontage, which is the docks property, so that we've addressed any possible concern. We're even going to offer to pay for banners and put them on our fence, assign volunteers at the fence and say, go send them across the street. And when Bob Cantwell from our board met with Renee, the only the reason why not was because the vendors could sell out earlier. Well, isn't that a good thing? Then they have 9 months to prepare, so they can even make more product and sell more money and make more money. So we see this as a win-win. We've done our analysis, we've shared our analysis. Now we're just asking you not to make the final vote today, not to make that decision today. We're saying follow whatever process needs to be followed, and that process is CTAC. So we know it's already going to, with our experience of city policy, we know it's going to follow the CTAC process, but for the legality of it and the transparency of it, please, direct staff to submit this CTAC application, which we've already done all the hard work of. And Stephen, can you show the site plan? So the site plan has over 30,000 extra square feet. So there's definitely room to make this work. It should not take weeks to figure this out. As you've seen, we've drafted most of everything else for staff to take this and run with it. What we are proposing is to please submit to CTAC. As Allie has said, Allie Berman, the CTAC manager, October 9th deadline, get on the October 16th agenda. We see this as a very easy, smooth, one-time approval because we know the policy, and DSMG would approve it on October 23rd, and then we would come back to you October 28th, and then we can move on with our, we have national corporations, international celebrities flying in at their own cost, because this is a charity event for Delray first responders and Delray children charities. So it's all to benefit Delray tax-paying businesses and Delray charities. So all the money stays in here. The other thing is, we don't want to make a big deal about this. It has just become that because no one's bothered to do this process before. So here we are spending more than the annual Green Markets budget in one weekend directly into our local economy. And the potential for that is enormous, and we just hope that everyone can work together, get on the same page, and say, okay, this is actually a good thing. We should celebrate this. How can we make both work together? And we're privately offering to help with that. Bob, would you like to say some words?
Would I?
And then we have the video from last year, if you'd like to see that.
Welcome to the Delray Beach Concours d'Elegance. We had a terrific array of cars made before World War II, right up until today.
very nice show. It looks like a nice town square. Beautifully done. It's good for the people to know what the cars are, and it's good for the owners to bring them out. So everybody wins.
As you see pictures of the field, this goes back to previous public comments of the least expensive car in the field is $1 million, the most expensive is $80 million, and that's for free for Delray residents.
When we think of
and families.
icons, Mr. Luigi Canetti Jr., his father is responsible, literally, for bringing Ferrari to North America.
The 1933 Packard V12 was bought brand new by Alfred Vanderbilt.
That owner actually has purchased property in the city worth $30 million and raised the property tax base.
Thank you to the city and everyone up here. This is definitely the highest quality event in the history of Delray Beach.
There's over 50 local sponsors. The restaurants speak for themselves. They sponsor this. They say it helps them in their economy. What can you ask for? No. Any questions? They sponsor this. They say it helps them.
I don't have any questions about the presentation, but I did want to just clarify a couple of things that you said. You have already submitted to CTAC?
Yes.
So you've been approved by CTAC for
No, we've submitted. There's two holds.
Okay.
One hold is, well, the only hold really is the front lawn. There's two steps to the front lawn. We met with Sam yesterday. The only step, the first step, is for the CRA to decide to make the front lawn available. The second step after that is to meet with Sam again to have the Parks Department approve the front lawn.
Okay.
It's a catch-22 because this step has to come first because currently the front lawn is not available. It's not part of the existing cancellations that are annual, like the Delray Fair the week before. My question to Commission is, what policy, what process, what transparent, consistent, fair process is there that makes that event annually canceled, or that date annually canceled, and just bring it into the light? That's why we propose the rubric.
Could I ask him a question?
I have two more, but okay. You mentioned that Renee said that it was easier to cancel. Renee, can you?
Yeah, so when this came up at the last meeting, the request, I guess, was to relocate us elsewhere, which we've explored at length, like over the past years, as some of you have been here. We've looked at it and many times about different streets by the tennis center, well, not tennis center, down by the City Hall parking lot. We looked at street closures. We looked at closing by Delray Marketplace. And it's just difficult for us to do that. Trash is also always a consideration. The amount of closures that we would needed, because right now that when this is taking place is technically season for the green market. So we have over 70 vendors, and they have to line up in one row because of the space on the street to allow a fire truck to go through. So you're closing several city blocks, and we looked at it with city staff. It's just really challenging. That's why I said, well, it might as well be canceled because it's so difficult to move it off site. Not necessarily that it's easier, but it's just the challenges we've looked at over the years in relocating we explore. We explored over by Arts Warehouse. We thought it would be awesome because the new streetscape was done by Arts Warehouse. We thought it would be great to wrap it around those streets, but the streets were too small. So we weren't able to do it. So it's just the Old School Square campus was set up for the green market. It used to be in the tennis center. I know they've mentioned about 20 years of having it at the tennis center. That was in the summertime when it was very small. So it was just one strip of vendors in the parking lot, and it was a smaller event. When we shut down during COVID, we opened pretty quickly, relatively, in the summertime, and we decided to go to Old School Square campus. That's what shifted it from the tennis center to Old School Square, where we had more space. And then we started taking a little bit more vendors, not as much as the season, but we started taking a little bit more vendors during that time. So it was a much different situation of when it was at the tennis center parking lot, because it wasn't during season. And it was to activate the West. So it was before I got here, but that's what I was told, is that we wanted to open the market to activate west of Swinton, even though that's just a step west, but that was the idea, was to activate west of Swinton.
Okay. Commissioner Cassell?
Sure. You've done this so many years, and I guess I'm just curious. I, was a proponent of you pulling this and going through the city process before coming here, but I'm glad we're having the conversation today, because then we can answer some of these questions as we try and figure out how to move forward. But from day one, I said, and Max, I love this event. I think it's amazing. I think it's great for the city. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that helps you, your entire board, and what you accomplish. Having said that, however, as I said when this first came up, when you made your public comment, these people who come to the green market, we promise them a space and a time, and they rely on it. This is their income. And I guess because you've done this so many years, clearly something happened in the process that this consideration wasn't done in a timely way, that it could have been factored into the green market schedule. Because I think maybe next year you say, we need the whole front lawn, and maybe it can work, but in enough time that we can schedule the green market people for another week, or make it work. But for us just to cancel on people that are relying on us to support their households and families, I don't want to do, because I totally appreciate what you're saying. I don't see how more cars on the front lawn necessarily equates to that much more for the city in relation to what we're taking away off the tables and out of the bank accounts of the people that rely on us. We made a guarantee of that date to them, and I have a hard time taking it away. And I think what we need to do is, if you are not successful here, you need to start working on your plan for next year with the CRA and with the city in enough time that we can all work on getting you what you need, but also accommodating those people that rely on us for their financial benefit of the green market.
And thank you for bringing up that point. 9 months is enough time. We're here 9 months ahead of time. We actually started this process with the CRA in July.
I don't think we knew last year that you were looking to move this, and I'm not speaking for Renee, but I don't know if she knew that. And the problem is, she's planning the green market out well in advance. So I think your event is amazing, and I think we can all agree it's most likely an annual event. So we need to start talking now about next year. But for today, if our staff can't figure out a great way to relocate this and make it work, and they're saying they'd have to cancel it, they couldn't relocate it, then I'm sorry, Max, I can't be in favor of that.
So if you would allow me to answer 3 bullet points to answer your question and Angela's question.
I think it's
we are here.
The chair.
We now have 9 months, which is plenty of time.
It's not plenty of time. They already have their schedule for the green market, and they're already expecting to be there.
Is most of these vendors are non-city vendors.
Doesn't matter. They're relying on us.
$10 to $35, and they're taking money
to them.
away from tax-paying city businesses. The restaurants do not like it.
Well, that's a whole other issue.
It is a whole other issue,
and it's not relevant to this determination today.
But it is the point. And the other thing is, to Renee's point, the map that we have proposed can fit 78 vendors with 770 square feet a piece. That's almost, most houses are 1,000 square feet. So you can comfortably fit more than the 70 vendors that you have on the 66,000 square feet at the front lawn.
I'm going to go with what she is saying, which is that it doesn't work to relocate them. And based on that, Max, I will say to you that I will support talking about this for the next event, but I'm not comfortable canceling on those people that are relying on us that we've made a promise to.
Can I add something?
Okay, Renee.
Real fast. Okay, I just wanted to add for the site that is being brought up about Docks and Dunkin' Donuts, so that's private property. When we looked at relocations, we always look at public property, not private. And the concourse was very diligent in receiving a letter from Stephen Michael, who's the owner of those properties. And in the letter, it actually does say that he's allowing the usage, but while how much of the Dunkin' Donuts lots is available is uncertain at this time, pending demolition is possible and could occur prior to April 18th. So he's saying that portion of it might be under demolition. I haven't had conversations myself. I'm just going based on this. I was waiting for this meeting. And what I indicated by email to the concourse team, I think it was September 19th, that we can measure the space. So our green market manager, when she looks at a site, she doesn't just do it on the computer. She actually physically goes out to measure, and would also be pending a CTAC approval if we were to consider that site, and also what considerations would go into utilizing private property. The CRA parking lot is also a private property site. It's a condominium, so it's owned by the city, the CRA, and some private property owners. So it would be a lot more than just saying we can just close it off and use it. We actually have to get permission from them to be able to consider something like this, and insurance and all of that, because it is a condominium. It's not public property. So since I've been here and what I've known, we haven't looked at private property for the market. So
That's why we got the private property donated on behalf of this proposal.
Which says that it could be demolished before April 18th.
Part of it,
in
which
the letter.
means you still have an extra 13,000 square feet of docks. And there's a slight chance that that actually happens on schedule, but it's either 13,000 extra square feet or 28,000 square feet.
But Renee, you're saying
Still a
to
lot
us here today, I believe your statement, I don't want to misquote you, I want to be clear, is you as the director, our executive director of the CRA, is saying that this moving it is not an option. You'd either cancel it or not. That's your position.
I would agree. I think we also
Thank
have
you.
to look at
and that's where I'm stuck. Thank you very much.
This market's been here for 30 years. I mean, I think it's also this type of process is not typical. We've had conversations prior
Right.
without coming to the board. Now it's been kind of turned around a little bit, and I
Right.
don't think that that's a great precedent and start for us to do that. And also the event cancellation rubric form is also something now when people want to have a private event, they can come in and do that. So I think it's not really necessarily the show. It's a wonderful event. In past years, it's been a great synergy with, I think, both having them there in the space. It's now saying, well, the market's in the way of this growth. So how do we get around that, I guess, or do something
Right.
about it, which is why we're here now.
Yeah.
So that's not a great process or road for us, I think, to go down at this point.
Right.
And I have been saying from the beginning, I would love to figure out a way for both of these events to take place on the campus. I even threw out there to representatives from Concourse, the green market doesn't happen year round. There are months where it's off, and I believe with scheduling with these concourses, it just doesn't work. But maybe in the future, maybe next year, look at a month where the green market's not there, so you can use the entire campus.
Yeah.
I'll give an example also of Garlic Fest. They are looking to come back. They outgrew Del Rey, now they're coming back. They've already reached out to our green market manager to incorporate green market into Garlic Fest.
Right.
They're wrapping it around by the field house, and they want to make it part of the footprint. So that's how they're submitting their application. They didn't ask us to vacate the premises. They asked us to be included, which is what I would love.
Right.
That is definitely the preference, is for somehow in some way
At a
for all of
minimum
this to
for
work
this
together.
year, I think we have to move forward the way we are with the market in place, and then look to see what we could potentially do for Max and his organization next year.
Yeah, I would love to see both of these events happen and that we can share some space, but I'll let the other, did you guys want to let the
let him chime in.
international caller go on
So we can go back
first?
to the pub or whatever
So
he's
that,
doing.
yeah.
I'm ready to speak whenever I'm ready to speak. So
Okay, Mayor Connie, go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, I agree largely with what Commissioner Casal was saying. And with respect to Max, to suggest that you need this front, that somehow the restaurants are benefiting from the event, which they clearly do, but the success of the restaurants isn't dependent on whether they get that front portion or not, because you have proven that you can be very successful without that piece of land included. And indeed, I think the green market does benefit by you being there because they're there and you're there. So I'm reluctant to start making a permanent situation, even if you go to the city and go through the process. At best, I would be willing to, if it were to decide that, and by the way, I'm not on the page of deciding that, is I would try it out for a year to see. I mean, you've made representations of how the green market is going to be affected. We don't really know that until we see it in action. So whatever it would do, I would want to see how the green market would be impacted if we were to actually try this, and not make it a permanent adjustment. We do it 1 year, that is suddenly now going to be every year afterwards, because that's not fair to the green market, people who really do rely on this. And I have to say, I don't believe that the success of your event requires having that piece of land, because it's been very successful, as Commissioner Casal pointed out, and I think every one of us has gone to this event, and it is very successful. And I'm thrilled that it's here. But the success or failure of it is dependent on that land where the green market sits. So, I mean, I'm of the opinion that I'd like to keep the green market there and take advantage of the fact that they're next to a great event so that they can prosper as well. And I don't want to get, I mean, I understand that, you kind of argue with when Renee says something, you come back with an answer. But I will say that to question the city policy as to why they shut down an event for the Chamber of Commerce annual event, where 100% of the proceeds go to the chamber and its activities. And your event, while you certainly do give money to charity, there is also a for-profit component in it. So they are not the same. They are not the same. So
there is no for-profit. We are actually a 501c3.
No, I know you formed a 501c3. I know you did. I know you did. But you're not the chamber. I mean, you can't really compare this event to shutting down for the Chamber of the Chamber of Commerce annual event that they have 1 day a year, and this which has also been traditional for 30 plus years. So, it's your questioning of the city's policy. I find, one of my favorite terms is stay in your own lane kind of thing, but that's really not up to you to discuss what the city policy should be and when they should or should not be creating a special event for the city. So I'm falling in line with what Julie has to say, Commissioner Casal has to say, and that I think you should coexist. And I think that, to move them at this juncture without us knowing a lot more, I don't think I'm prepared to do that, because these people do rely on this, and this is in the middle of the season. If it were in July, I'd have a very different view, but it's in the middle of season. So that's my view.
Thank you, Mr. Carney, but we're actually not asking you to vote today.
The chair will recognize you when it's appropriate.
Thank you, Mayor Carney. Hold on, we have other comments from our commissioners. Commissioner Long?
Sure. I mean, I fear that we've kind of turned this into a binary issue, where it's either we allow the expansion and we cancel the green market, or we don't allow it and the green market goes. And I feel like there could be some middle ground for compromise here that isn't being discussed, and that we should be working more towards how do we make this work rather than how do we adhere to, frankly, arbitrary policies and find reasons to kill it. Because I have to disagree with Mayor Carney in that it is applicants' place to question our policies. It's any resident's place to question our policies. That's why our policies evolve and get better. And not to, and by the way, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus to say that anyone from our department has done anything wrong in terms of how this has gone. That being said, it does sound like Mr. Zengage has been very proactive in trying to figure this out, like months and months in advance, to ask him to, well, sorry, 9 months isn't enough. Let's shoot for next year. I don't know. I'd like to see us be a little more encouraging of an event of this scale that has this much community buy-in, that does bring an enormous economic benefit to our city. I'd like us to see give us a little more leeway here and flexibility in terms of how we're going to work with an organization like this. We should be incentivizing this kind of economic boon for our community. That being said, I know we're not talking about canceling it altogether. The event's still going to happen. We're just talking about if we're going to scale it out or not. But I do think encouraging the growth of an event like this is critical, especially whenever it is growing every year. If we're going to halt the growth of it, what's to say that, those opportunities still exist going forward in terms of people wanting to bring in more cars and more residents continuing to come. We want that momentum to continue. So I guess to get back down to the specifics, right? It all comes down to logistics at this point, it seems like. If it wasn't for this demolition issue on the docks property, would that be viable? Were it not for that one issue? Is there enough space there?
I don't know. So that's what I brought up in my September email, that we would need to measure it. It also has to be approved by CTAC, and we'd also have to explore private property. So that is something that we just don't have an answer to right now. But at the time, the request was to cancel the market. So we went forward with the agenda item as is and got that email on Friday. But I had already basically the email asking for direction to direct us to submit the CTAC application that they prepared for docks property. So I had already said back in September 19th that we would measure it and look at it. But then this just got these emails on Friday. I'd also prior had said, how do we share the space? We'd proposed closing earlier. We proposed giving up a portion of parking spaces that we utilize for load in, load out in order for us to exit the property sooner so that they could load in. But we were told that that's not a feasible option. So, I mean, we haven't not been trying to banter
clearly
back and forth.
You have been.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
So Max, and I understand it's not your preference to have a sort of delay in starting it, but could you make a compromise on that front and work with the green market? If they leave a little bit early, you start a little late. Can you make that work for this year? Is it off?
Okay.
There it is.
To Renee's point, our original request was to relocate. We've been asking you to relocate for 3 months now. Renee's the one who said it was easier to cancel.
I understand. The question, though, is can we split the baby here? If they leave early and you start late, is that an option for you guys? Does it still work?
Here's the difficulty. We have Grimes Rental, Nicole just left, commercial grade structure tents that have to go in with heavy machinery, fencing. It's a whole thing that cannot happen in a couple hours, and simultaneously with multi-million-dollar historic museum-owned vehicles that come with transporters, teams of managers, mechanics. You can't have all that happening at the same time. To end the green market early at like 2 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock on a Saturday does not give enough time to have that all happen. We have cars coming from 15 states, three are coming on airplanes. They're spending $30,000 to ship their car here for this event to bring their families to Delray. You can't just say, oh, you get this 2-hour window to do this on a Saturday night.
Could I ask Mr. Zengage a question?
Did you finish your answer? Okay, hold on just a minute. Did you get your answer?
So, and I don't understand the logistics, obviously, of your event, Max, and what all is included. But I imagine certain areas of your site plan don't have that level of setup.
Everything does.
The entire site has that?
Yep.
Level of setup. You can't move things around to the areas that you already have access to.
It's amazing. That's the quality of design we have come to in 5 years. What we could explore, and if this is a compromise for this year, and then next year we can explore the whole on, is, and that's where our board is very, very cautious, because we've had this discussion for 5 years internally, and it's at what point is it compromise or is it dangerous? And that's if we say, okay, we're only going to ask for the front lawn, the one part of Cornell, and not the whole west of Swinton side. That's feasible, but what it does is, what we've had in the past is we've had danger hazards, safety hazards due to actions of green market vendors not caring or blocking the entrances of the cars while the transporter trucks are coming in. They have flat out disregarded and they don't care because they're not tax-paying city residents or city businesses for the majority.
That's concerning.
I think that can be worked out. I think,
Yeah, I don't want to get into
I
that.
don't
Well,
see
now
that's
you're
an
sort of
issue.
saying we shouldn't do it because now you're saying we have additional liability, which is very concerning, Max.
I would think that's something that if we have law enforcement on site, we could probably. Listen, if you're telling me there's a way to make it work, I'm trying to find a compromise here to make this work for you this year, Max.
Commissioner Casal, I'm going to give you an opportunity, but I wanted Commissioner Long to finish. his
Max,
comment.
assuming we can work out the issue you brought up with your concern about vendors not cooperating, assuming that is a concern, if we can work that out through ensuring we have a couple officers maybe during that setup process, whatever, could you make that work for this year? And then for next year, we try and reschedule around it so everyone gets what they want. We're trying to figure out a way to make this work for you,
So
Max.
imagine it physically. If the green market had the access point
Mayor,
to the
your
west
phone
lawn,
needs to be muted.
if the green market had access point from the west to the west lawn from the crusty of their driveway, and only the crusty of their driveway, and we had the access point to the front lawn from Billy's parking lot, and we had our own separate designated entrances, and the green market vendors actually listened to the direction from the green market directors of don't try to access the lawn from this side, then that could work for this year. It would be two separate things on the same, one on the west lawn, one on the front lawn, and the Cornell walkway would be the separation.
Again, I see a benefit to the green market doing this. I think they're going to have way more people there, so I don't know why they wouldn't be cooperative, frankly. But I don't know. I want to hear what you think of this potential idea.
Well, one of my emails was actually saying that they just us giving up that space basically over by the parking spaces by Billy's, the parking spaces there. And I don't believe that there was a response to that email. Then there was a request that came at our last board meeting. So we did already offer that as an option.
Okay. So can we explore that route? Is that something that you guys are willing to consider? I know you haven't even spoken on this yet, Commissioner Marcus.
Sure. I want to consider any option that makes it work. Commissioner Cassell, you had a question?
Have you already, you've already basically invited the people for those spaces and you need them, is that correct?
What we have done is this event has become an invite only for the most part. Because last year we turned away
How many have you invited so many that you need that space is what I'm asking you.
The spots are reserved because we turned away 400 applications last year.
But yes, you did invite more people than you can fit on that side, is what I'm asking you.
They are standing invitations.
It's yes or no? I'm not understanding. I'm trying to, have you already committed to those people and now you need to figure it out is where I'm going with this? That seems like a yes.
It's not.
See, Max,
not commitment.
I'm going to tell you something.
It's not commitment.
I like you
it's
a lot.
From last
you do
year
this all the
applicants.
time to us, though, and I'm not trying to be a turkey. And I'm just telling you, you have this tendency. I like you. I love this event, but you have this tendency, both in the city and in the CRA, of kind of going out and doing things first and coming to us second. And it's not a good habit.
We do not have them committed. They are rejected applicants from last year that we wish to not reject for another year.
Why is it our problem who Max has made commitments with? If he's saying that that's a viable option, and Renee said it's something they already offered, why do we care if he's making commitments or not?
Because I don't think the process has gone through correctly once again. I think my question is, if we were following proper process and procedures, he would have already had the CTAC when he's coming in front of us, because we don't know that the city is going to approve it. My understanding is the city is likely not to approve it because the city typically doesn't approve this usage on the front lawn. And my issue is we're spending a lot of time on something that may be not approved by the city.
I'm not going to go tell our residents and our business owners because of our process, we're going to
Nobody's
deny
asking
something
you to
that
tell
everyone
that.
else is willing
What
to make
I'm
work.
saying is we should follow our administrative process.
Agreed.
Yes,
But we
thank
don't
you.
know what the city is going to approve.
Exactly.
We're not there yet. Commissioner Marker.
But we should be before we get here. That's the point, Ms. Burns.
Okay.
That's why we're okay. That's why we amended our request today to not vote on this, just
Right.
to see if staff could submit an application to CTAC.
I am amenable to Commissioner Long's suggestion that we try to make this work. And Renee said that she already offered it, so that means that it's option for her as well. Commissioner Marker?
I usually hate going fourth, but I think I can.
Wrap it up. Mayor Carney went.
Yeah, or fifth, whatever I've lost track. But I think I can bring a little bit of clarity based on some work that I got done today. Renee and I spent some time with City Manager Moore today and Assistant City Manager Orris today. And being the new guy on the commission, my reason for wanting to do the meeting was I didn't really understand how this all works. But now I kind of do. And I think some of the things I learned will be new to those in the public, and I think it'll shed some light and help us in our decision making a little bit. First thing I want to say is the green market is on Saturday. The car show is on Sunday. Let us not forget that. I know there's time issues there, but that's the timing that we're up against. I didn't understand why the front lawn was so complicated to use, but I got clarity to that today from Parks and Recreation. That grass, and if you think about it, is underneath a lot of trees, and we have a very hard time getting that grass to grow. So when we wear it down, we're bald over there for months and months and months and months and months. And that's why the city is so hesitant to put a lot of traffic, foot traffic, car traffic, horse traffic, whatever the case may be, over on that front lawn. So that they do, rightfully so, think 2 or 3 times about that, because that could do irreparable harm for months to the view of our city. I don't find the docks solution at all to be viable. Putting myself in Max's shoes, we heard there's construction that's going to go on there. The timing is TBD. You can't execute a contract on TBD. You can't do that. And the second thing that would alarm me, that's private property. We do not have insurance there. We would have to either figure out if our carrier would cover us over there, or we'd have to write a new policy. So those are real world things. But regardless, Max, I don't know how we could make a commitment to you if there's potential construction going to go on there, if there's a crane there when your cars show up. I mean, that dog's not going to hunt. Let me finish, and then we can hammer it out. The third option that we discussed today is closing a couple of blocks of Atlantic Avenue. Sounds easy, pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Not really in the best interest of some of the merchants that are there, as we talked about it. There's containment issues from the police department, so that's been brought up, but that's not really a great idea. I think for me, the best option, if it's at all possible, Max, is what's been kind of discussed, which is the green market. We can close that promptly at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And I'm not disputing the logistical issues you brought up earlier, but if we could close that at 1 o'clock, that gives you a lot of time. And this isn't your whole space for the car show. It's 20% of the space that you'd have to logistically work around. I love this event, and I think this is an event where the car show plus the green market, it's 1 and 1 equals 3. And so I want to find a way to do it. That, as a business person, sounds like the most viable to me, but again, I don't understand what you're up against. I can only imagine the logistics of bringing these multi-million-dollar cars in, and the security, and you can't bump them or scratch them, or I get all that. So, but the one thing that was impressed upon me in my meeting with Renee and Jeff and Mr. Moore today is this needs to go to CTAC next, and then once that committee has made a decision, then they bring that decision and that analysis back to us.
Exactly.
So we're not really in a position, based on what I heard today, to make a call on this. Yeah. And we don't want to go around our committee system that we have, because it works in Delray. Mm-hmm. So next stop for this is CTAC before it comes back to us, I think, for a vote, Madam Chairman.
Yep. That is the procedure. However, you said that you would be amenable to the loading and the unloading, you know, barring that we can control the merchants over there to use whatever is suggested. So how do we?
If I may, would you be open to asking staff to submit a CTEC application for our new compromise for this year, which is the west lawn from Crest Theater to Atlantic Ave, the west lawn of grass of the Green Market on Saturday, closing at 1 o'clock, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the front lawn on the east side for Concours. And we can explore that, but what we also ask is to submit that to CTAC by October 9, so that we don't delay this more and more months, but we actually come back to you October 28 with a real optional decision.
Renee, does that?
I'm just going to add, it doesn't need to have board direction to do that. Okay. We work with private events all the time to modify, like I just mentioned, for Garlic Festival. So we need to measure it. We bring it to CTAC. We have these discussions all of the time. So then the need to keep saying to have the board direct staff to do it is not necessary, because we would just do it. If that's something that you're open to,
we're open to that.
Then we can just chat about it later. As I mentioned, we need to talk about the first week of October next week, and then we can go forward. We don't need to have board direction for that, or for it to come back to the board to keep having the board involved. This is something that staff can do, CRA staff and city staff. It does not involve the board.
What we just don't want to see happen is what we keep on seeing happening is delays due to the process, but not because of that, but due to addressing, the process or the comments. That's why we want to put a timeline on it. That's why we're asking board.
Well, Max, when you came to the board, you came straight to the board asking the board for something. When you do that, this is the process. The board has to give direction on including that on an agenda item, because it's not something that we're working on at the time. That's why we had to wait for a board member to bring it up and get consensus, and it came to the board meeting. You can come and chat with us at any time, and we can work things out. You came to the board asking for something of the board, not of staff.
After 5 years, yes.
Right. Okay.
After 5 years, yes. And not,
all right,
not
so
fun 5 years.
it sounds like.
And this is all contingent, Ms. Burns, on the city process approving this, because if they don't, then you don't have anything to do.
Exactly, right. So any direction, any discussions, it's still pending CTAC. If CTAC doesn't approve it, then we keep our 2 alternative locations, and that's it.
Right.
So for the record,
thank you.
There's no determination regarding any action
Correct.
pending the city's review.
Right, and Mr.
So
Zengage
for
will
the
deal
record,
with Ms. Jadison
the board
and the
has
city
not approved
directly.
anything this evening.
Right.
Right.
The direction, you guys are going to handle this conversation, and thank you. All right.
While we're in the light and in the open, can we get commitment on a timely manner that's not, can you submit the alternative to CTAC by October 9th?
I don't know at this time, Max. We have to discuss it and measure it, so I'll have to just follow up with you tomorrow or later on, but I can't give you that commitment today.
Yeah, there goes another 3 months. But
Max, you can also, there's an alternative. You could also submit an application for an alternative location, and that's something the CTAC could consider now. You don't have to wait. You can consider it, submit something they can consider and modify as the process continues. You don't have to have everything today. You can modify it later.
Not what we were instructed by CTAC managers and Jeff is CRA footprint has to be revised first, then we can continue on with our process.
He's shaking his head.
We'd like Jeff to come up and address that, please.
Have some clarification.
Come on up, Jeff.
Come on up. Join. We're all here.
So Mr. Zengage could bring his application forward now and leave out the front lawn, and CTEC can review it for that and then come back and amend it at another time. He has consistently wanted to come forward with the front lawn, which, because there is no clarity on, CTAC cannot address.
Can he do 2 separate applications? Can he do his main application first and then secondary?
You just amend it.
Okay.
You told us we couldn't.
No, I've always told you can always amend.
Well, it sounds like
let's move on.
We're moving on from the.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Don't forget your posters.
Yes. Okay, where are we on this agenda?
Ooh, we still have more to go, guys.
Let's see, we
We're
skipped.
almost finished.
Are we on
Oh,
track
F.
now? We're on F.
Yes.
Yes, we're on
F.
F. Okay. Renee.
All right, so I'll kick this off. So this is the request for proposals for the development of Southwest 600 block. We've been discussing all of the blocks, Southwest 600, 700, and 800, but we've, based on board direction, have been working solely on the request for proposals for the Southwest 600 block of West Atlantic overview. So I'm just going to have Christine walk through some of the information in the RFP. We would like to issue it soon. I know there were public comments and some interest in not having it issued until after the set transformation plan, West Atlantic master plan is complete. So that's something that I just wanted to bring up to the board if we want to discuss that at some point. But in the meantime, we have been working on this request for proposals. There are some modifications that will come along the way. We had some comments from our legal counsel, DJ Duty, and Sanaz Alampour also is in the process of reviewing it in consideration of the litigation matters that happened prior. We just want to make sure that everything's covered in this RFP. So it is very lengthy, but we're just going to get down to the core of it so we can get there's some pointed things that we need input on from the board. We'll also bring up those pointed questions at the next set transformation West Atlantic Plan Amendment meeting to get input from the community as well. But we're at like the very narrow point of this, and we're ready to issue sometime in the near future when the board is ready. But we're ready.
Okay.
So the first thing that wanted to point out, the development objectives, which you can find on page 11, a community-oriented, full-service grocery store is what we're putting this RFP out for. And within the RFP, we are defining the full-service grocery store to be one as a retail operation affiliated with a regional grocery chain consisting of no less than 20,000 square feet of retail space, offering to the general public, but not limited to the sale of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, dairy products, meat products, frozen food and vegetables, bakery items, and toiletries. Additionally, we are also requiring that the proposer submit a letter of intent within 4 months of the proposal due date from a company that will operate the full-service grocery store, and that letter of intent shall be addressed to the proposer and include the type of grocer, the proposed size and square footage of the store, and the timeline to complete construction of the grocery store. So just put it out there first and foremost, that is the main objective of this RFP. And then, of course, with it comes parking. So the parking is to accommodate the full-service grocery store and the general public with a preference for a multi-level parking structure. That is currently what is in the draft now. However, we would like board input at this time for 2 points: surface parking versus multi-level parking, and then stating it as a requirement or an option. So I'll let Renee go through this.
Yes. So I know we've been talking about this RFP for the 600 block. It's the most attractive block. It's the largest block. And we're trying to accommodate as many things in it as possible. But we also don't want to overcomplicate it to kind of turn off potential bidders on this project. So we just wanted to discuss with the board our thoughts on parking structures. I know we talked about surface level not being a great option, but multi-level is also an option as well. I know it's very expensive to build that type of parking structure, but with multi-level parking, you could potentially build more things in the block. So we just wanted to hear where your thoughts are on this, or if we just leave it open as an option of whatever they would like. And like I said here, it's a requirement or option.
Would you like me to start, Ms. Burns?
Sure.
I think we need to ask for multi-level parking because we're going to need it. And I think especially if you're asking for a store. And with respect to the requirement versus option, I think we have to leave both on the table so that we get more responses, and then we can determine where we're going. Because there could be so many components to that. As we know from the last situation, we have to learn from each of these experiences. I would like to ask you one question. You use the term regional grocery store. How are we defining that? Are we saying it has to be a local grocer that we understand? Is that based on size? What does that mean when you said regional? Is that part of the...
I think when this started previously we
Because
were
we're
working
saying a
with
regional grocery chain.
Yes, I guess not like a private label or just like an independent grocer.
Okay.
It's something that has more like multiple stores, something a little bit larger.
Okay.
And not to have maybe like an independent store to come
Right.
in. If we want to entertain an independent option, then we could
I
change that.
almost feel like at this point, because it's just an RFP, we should entertain as much as we can. And then we have it in front of us and we see what we want. I mean, we've done this so many times, Renee, that I think more options for us to narrow down are better maybe than less.
Okay, so we can remove the regional. It's just a grocery store, not even chain. We just want to say a grocery store of that square footage that's offering those items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that
Mr.
okay
Mar-
for everyone? Oh.
Mr. Marker.
I agree.
Oh.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
I'm
want to
just
be
saying,
Debbie
I
Downer
think we
here.
need to keep our options open. Keep
I
our
don't-
options open, get as many as we can.
I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but I've talked to Renee about this. I spent 27 years at Nielsen, and we dealt with grocery store. That they were our primary clients. I think we're going to have a very hard time finding a large scale grocer to put in our downtown area. We've tried with Publix, we failed. Maybe they'll come back again, but you know they're in the business of picking out geographies, and they've got a store in George Bush, they've got a store in Atlantic. Now we're going to put one in the middle. I know how they think. That's not going to be super duper appealing. You know, in terms of getting a bank, bank branches are closing now more than they're opening. That's going to be a tough putt. CVS and Walgreens are both closing stores right now, so I think the chance of them wanting to put a new one in is not high. Some of the other regional chains that are around, Aldi, possible, probably not what our residents want. They mostly are private label product only. Whole Foods and Fresh Market, probably not what our residents want. Those are premium priced retailers. Probably not going to hit the price points that we're looking for. So I think we're up against a really tough one here, guys, based on 27 years of experience. I'm happy to get involved here. I'm happy to talk to Publix. I speak their language. I don't know. I mean, when Dixie is pulled out of our area, we all know that.
I think we just have to put the RFP out and see what happens, and then we actually
Well,
know.
but what we can't do is do what happened, we've done before. We put the RFP out,
It
Publix
was a
said, oh
very
yeah,
different
we're
situation.
in. Well, it
no,
wasn't.
there was so much more involved in that, Tom. We
Well-
had it connected to the 3 blocks. Publix wanted to know how they were going to own the property. The people who were doing the project couldn't own the property until it was well done. There were way more components to it than just, that's why we separated this out as one block.
Do respect, Julie, they played us.
No, but
I've been in
no,
this business before. They came in and they took the
Okay, but
rights
it
to that
doesn't-
geography. They took the rights to that geography, and they held us hostage for 5 years because they had the rights.
They really didn't. You
That's what they did to us. I'm telling you.
Renee has her hand up.
Well, I
Renee?
will add, so if you see this italic right here where it says letter of intent within 4 months of the
Yeah.
proposer and also addressed to the proposer, I think this time around and what happened before that we should be scrutinizing these things a little bit more. So maybe that's something where we can actually call the person in the letter, which I'll invite whoever wants to be on that phone call to make sure, because when we, going back to what happened prior, some of these proposers, they had a letter that wasn't addressed to them. It was addressed to the CRA. Or if
Correct.
it was addressed to a different proposer, but it was in a different proposer's RFP. So I just think when we're looking at this now, or they were a year old. So I think in what we're looking at now, we are going to be much more critical of what comes in, and actually, just like you call references in these requests or our job reference, we could just call the person on the letter or request them to give us the contact information so that we can actually call them and
Mhm.
find out how serious they are. So this was actually a specific add-in that we were trying to get more information in these letters of intent. And also I think some were letters of interest, not intent. There's 2 different things.
Yeah.
We need to be a little
Can I
more
make- can I make a quick
cautious.
comment?
Oh,
Sure. Go ahead.
Is that yes to me?
That was a yes.
Look, I think that there is a dramatic difference that we're now doing only the 1 to 600 as opposed to the whole complex, and that is indeed true. But I think that Commissioner Market is correct that if you're looking at the demographics of where these retail outlets are opening and closing, there will be challenges there to get a financial institution. I mean, Chase just announced they're closing down a bunch more. And I don't know which financial, maybe it's not that to be a bank, maybe it's some other kind of financial institution, maybe one of these community type situations or company kind of stores, company kind of financial institutions. But I think that we are going to have some challenges getting people in there. I mean, but I do think we need to go out with the RFP, see what we can get. I think having multi-level parking, people will get used to it. I know at the beginning they say, oh, we don't like it, but they will get used to it. And Commissioner Casal's right, we're going to need it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I just throw
To
one more
clarify,
comment?
though, with the third option, the pharmacy, the financial institution, the family social stuff, it says may be located. So we're not limiting it to you have to have a grocery store that has a pharmacy and a bank in it. We're saying you may. I mean, it's broad enough that we'll know within a short period of time if we have it or not. And if we don't, we have to revisit. But the residents have been asking for this for over 10 years, and we have to make our best effort. And I think we saw where we didn't do it. We couldn't get it done last time, and this is the right way to do it this time. And then we'll know.
I think having
Well, to
having
your
the smaller one
words,
is going to make it a lot easier.
To your words, if you want to put our best foot forward, this isn't the path. Other municipalities that have gone down this road have hired consultants and people that work in this area. It ain't going to be cheap, but you gotta put people on the case here that speak the language of these retailers. And most municipalities will spend money in this, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, whatever it takes, to hire a consulting firm that specializes in this to Julie, to get where you're saying to put your best foot forward.
I think you're going to find that we're going to get some applicants. People have reached out, and I think we're going to get applicants. I want to let Renee do the process. She's been exceptional at it. If she comes back to us and says it's a problem, then we can talk about it.
Due respect, we don't know what we don't know.
I just know she's amazing, and her staff is.
Maybe you got it. I don't know. Like I said, just
I
27
don't know,
years of
but
my
we're not
worldwide
gonna know
experience on
until
this,
we do
I
it.
would
So
argue.
what would be the harm of putting it out there and seeing what options
Commissioner
we
Mark,
get?
Because it's a
Mark is
garbage in,
correct
garbage
that
out
we don't-
situation. If you don't ask the very specific questions, you're going to get back this very vanilla RFP that's we're not going to be happy with it. We're going to have to go back 8,000 more times because we don't speak that language. We don't. And there's nobody up here that does.
Okay. I know I don't speak the language. Well, Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
No, what I was going to say, what Commissioner Margaret said is correct. I mean, a lot of these times, even what we put in our RFP, we should have. I mean, I know we can do an RFP and we know what we think we want, but I think we're correct. We don't know what the market is so much, so that we fashion whatever we put in the RFP in the way that we can actually attract people to take a look at it. And it means we have to go to an outside consultant. I'm not thinking 200-300, not several hundred thousand, but somebody to help us with that, because we don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and that's an area of the world that I just don't know.
Wow.
So I will add. So if you
Thank you,
recall,
Renee.
we did a request for qualifications for a commercial realtor to help us
Right.
market and do these things. So we've been kind of negotiating with one of the proposers. We had two responses. One of them wanted basically a portion of, whoever, like a commission basically. That's not really how we're structuring this, because by statute we have to put out a notice of intent to sell land and do this RFP process. But the other proposer, their kind of due diligence, what you're referencing, was just under $200,000. And we said that's a lot. So we're trying to scale it back to just do a marketing or an hourly rate or something like that. So we're still kind of chatting with them about it. But if we want to go the full blown route, it's about 200,000, and we can bring that to the next meeting to look at. But we do have that there if
So
we
you've
wanted to do
explored
that.
these.
Yes, we are,
Thank
and we
you.
looked at the cost. We're like, wow, this is a lot of money, because we have had developers come in and call us, and we know that maybe they have it or they don't. I know that everyone's just exploring the opportunity. But the due diligence phase would basically do, like you said, a market analysis, see what's out there, kind of test the waters a little bit. We can do that.
Why don't we just do this, and then if you, do you feel confident doing this? You've done this already. I mean, with it I feel confident in you.
I mean, we could see what's out there. We've put this out to people. Maybe we'll get things back. Maybe we won't. We won't know until we put it out there. We can do this.
Let's just put it out and
study.
see what happens. We've
Right,
waited
we
this
can.
long.
Okay, Commissioner Long?
Well, first of all, I don't know what the rush is at this point. It's been vacant for years. And we have a big part of the community that would like to see us finish the set transformation plan before we move on this. And given the amount of participation and momentum we've had from those meetings, I would hate to do this literally a couple months before that's done anyway. So I'm less inclined to support moving forward today just based on that. And frankly, I'd love to move forward today because I'll be here then. But I'll be gone by the time you guys move forward on this if you guys punt it till after December, which sucks because I'd like to be here for it. But that being said, I think it's the right way to approach it. Now, regarding the multi-level parking, I agree with Commissioner Cassell. I think we need to definitely have multi-level parking and plan for that level of potential density here. We know that the city's comp plan abhors surface parking. I hate surface parking. I think we should get rid of all of it in the city. So I'm a huge proponent of multi-level parking. I always have been from get on this. So now regarding how do we move forward with this, we all know that this has been going on for a while, but the retail environment and economic environment is weird right now. It's changed quite a bit. We all have our vision of what we'd like to see here. We know what the community wants to see here. We've gotten a lot of clear direction on that, but the market dictates what the market dictates. We can only sort of nudge that so much, and it's very little, I think. And I do think there's a lot we just don't know right now. And in the past, I know it's like the whole golf course thing that we ended up not doing. We went like a CBRE type firm. That's what we went with there. And they helped give us sort of some more tangible, maybe more sophisticated routes to go. And I know that was a different type of project. That was a P3. It's different. I get it. But given that we already made some effort to reach out to commercial realtors, I mean, maybe I'd like to see us maybe explore that route a little bit more, just because I don't want to see us just throw spaghetti against the wall here with this, and just I think we end up wasting more time if we do that, frankly. So I think going with an expert on this, I don't know what that looks like, and frankly, I think we should wait until after the set transformation plan is complete anyway, which gives us some time to discuss this option, I think. And frankly, I'll only be here for part of that discussion. I'm going to pass the ball to you guys. That's what I think we should do. That's where I'm at on it.
Okay. And I'm in agreement with that as well. I like the multi-level parking. We're going to need that, and the community has asked that we wait until the plan is finalized. So that's where I am with it.
And just so you know, not to be Debbie Downer again, your grocery retailers are absolutely going to hate multi-level parking. Just going to tell you that ain't their first preference, because you can think of the logistics when you go to the grocery store. You got to get upstairs with your cart. You got to get downstairs. I'm just telling you, that may be what we want, but that's probably not going to be what they want. So
maybe the top floor will be for something else.
Be ready.
We are. Lessons learned. We're going to take it slower this time.
So what we can do, I think, then, is keep walking through the RFP with the questions, because we can get a document that's very tight and has all this information. We weren't going to be issuing this right away. It would be in October, maybe later on. So we were still bringing this back to you all in October. So we can bring it back with the proposal, the couple $100,000 proposal of exploring options, because if that's where we want to go, that route, we can do that as well, because they included, market analysis, analyzing the bid, like the whole thing. Right. And we can talk about it and see where you all come out. But in the meantime, we'll still have a document that is, pretty much ready to go.
I like that idea.
So we only have a few more questions. We won't go through every little bitty thing. We'll just go to the high points of things we needed input on. And then we'll work through, because we're still working with legal on tightening it up, and also we have to prepare the contract to be included with this.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm sure you are familiar with the Southwest 600 block, but here it is. These are the lots that are going to be included within the RFP. And the question is, do you want the proposer to have the option to utilize just the lots that they want to use, or should they be utilizing all the vacant lots within the Southwest 600 block?
If we're asking, I think you have to allow them the option to utilize all.
Well, right now it's in the RFP as they would be using the entire block.
Right.
So, and then the other question behind this would be if they're not using all the lots, we would have to discuss what are we as the CRA going to do with the rest of the lots that the developer doesn't use.
It's coming
so
up.
if you if you get somebody who comes back and says, I will build you the grocery store you want, but I only want surface parking, then you're going to need to give them the whole lot, the whole block. If you get somebody who's comfortable with the multi-level parking, then you could maybe utilize some of that section of the back end differently. So, I mean, there's so many factors.
So it would just be an option for them to pick
Correct.
and choose which lots that they want to use, and
Okay.
not the whole block.
Look, as someone who represents, used to represent a lot of developers.
Mr.
One of the things
Carney,
we don't want to have.
I
One of the
couldn't
things
understand.
yes. I'm saying, as someone who used to represent a lot of developers, I will tell you that you really should consider whoever does it to take the whole lot and not leave us, the city, without parcels, the CRA without parcels to deal with. Because it's better for the developer who's going to do whatever they're going to do, figure out what they want to do with the out parcels if they don't want to use the whole piece.
Right.
I just don't want to be down the road having to figure out, okay, well, they didn't want this, and now CRA has to figure out what to do with the remaining parcels. I
Right.
think that's not a
That's
productive
why I
use
said the
of
whole
our
lot.
time.
Yeah, I agree, the whole block.
So 40, 41, and 49 are private property, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll just add there. So the question came up because when this was originally 600, 700, 800 blocks,
Right.
these parcels here ended up being some kind of housing because they weren't adjoining to the others, and the structure was all of these
Right.
up
Right.
here. So if we were saying you have to take it and you need to build the grocery store, you need to build parking, you need to build maybe the pharmacy, those ancillary uses. Housing wasn't one of those uses.
Right.
So in the past proposals, these were just smaller houses or like townhouses, I believe, because they're closer to First. So that's the question of why we were asking to leave it open, because this RFP does not include housing. This is all the parking and the grocery store and those other business uses.
Right.
No housing. So this is just a question about leaving it open to maybe they say, hey, we don't want to deal with those two pieces because
Right, that's possible.
we don't know what to do with it. We could still keep those
And make housing.
and do some townhouse. We could build something there,
Absolutely.
or like with the accessory dwelling unit thing
Yeah.
that's coming up, we could build like a little cottage court or
I
something
love that,
there.
You know, I love that.
So yes, so we'll leave that as an open option. Or
Okay.
Yeah, I think the more flexibility we can afford to potential developers here, the better.
Okay.
Okay. And then we go into development design standards on page 6. So right now the RFP reads that the building should be no more than 3 stories, situated adjacent to the public right-of-ways with lighted, wide, uninterrupted pedestrian sidewalks, and then parking, on-street parking along public right-of-ways, as well as on-site parking lots or garages located at the rear of the development, with opportunities for shared parking with adjacent uses whenever they come about. Pedestrian friendliness, wide arcades, sidewalks, open spaces, activities along Atlantic Avenue are to be encouraged. That's the way the draft reads right now.
I don't know that the on-street parking is necessary if you have garage though. You know, but whatever, it's minor.
I'm on board with like on-street parking internally, but I don't think we should have any parking on Atlantic out there.
No. Okay, so we can clarify what we mean by on-street parking.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we just wanted a further clarification that the 2018 RFP was where we got the 3 stories for the building. The current LDR allows for 4 stories within CBD. So would we still want to limit the stories to 3? I'm not sure which grocery store wants to develop a 3-story grocery store. However, right now, that's what we have in the RFP, and then the code allows up to 4 stories.
I said leave it 3.
But you may want 4-story parking and then stepping down, right? Because the step down always makes the visual not look as overwhelming. So I think we have to leave the option in there, but people probably need to understand how Delray wants to look and how it functions. We really don't want 4 on the street front, but we could potentially use 4 for the garage.
Yeah, I think we should be flexible in terms of allowing 4 stories there. I'm not opposed to having some kind of step back requirement with that, but I think given where we're at with this, and we want to try and stay flexible to see what we can get, I think that extra story could make a huge difference in terms of what a developer is willing to do on site.
Huge difference.
So I think we need to be open to it. It's going to give us, again, if we're putting our best foot forward here and trying to set ourselves up for success, we need to, giving another whole story means, more square footage, more bang for their buck. You're going to get more interest. It gives us more options, regardless of what the setup looks like, So I'm on board with it.
Commissioner Market, did you?
I think it's good.
Okay. Mayor Carney, did you say what you needed to say?
No, I agree. I say, look, I think we need to. I think we need. We've been at this. I mean, as DJ and I have been here when we bought that land back in 2012. So I do think it's time that we do something with it. And I mean, I understand that it's set transformation plan and everything. I don't think that anything we're talking about it, however, is contrary to what they would like to, that plan would contemplate for that piece of land anyway. So I just want to get it moving.
Me too.
And I think having maximum flexibility, as described by my colleagues, is the way to go.
Renee?
Can I add something? So, in the set transformation plan, it talks about reducing the number of stories from 4 to 3 on Atlantic Avenue. So it's something that maybe we can also get community input on as well, because I think if it's understood that it's a stepped down type of thing, not that it's going to be, I think, that walling off community. I think that's what, it gets a little bit of angst hearing 4 stories. But I think if we want to go that route, we should just be really clear in how we communicate it, that it's not a block 4-story buildings. It would be a step down 4 stories, so that we won't get a lot of community pushback from the neighbors living there, because they're very close. There's people living right across from this in 1-story places. So then you have this towering thing right beside them. So we just have to make sure that people understand that that's not the intent. We don't want to have this towering thing. We want a step down to help accommodate for the parking if needed. Right.
Makes sense.
Well, our design guidelines contemplate the kind of stepping down as you reach the the other residential portions, right? I mean, so
yes. I just wanted to clarify for anyone listening or anything that we're not saying that we just want to have these 4-story things. That there's more to it that we can help explain, and it would be a step down, not just a 4-story building. And it's not necessarily going against what the set transformation plan and West Atlantic plan are calling for, because we're trying to bring them all together.
All right. Just put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Exactly. We could talk about it next week too. But yes.
All right. So where are we now? Do we need to? Have we done what we needed to do? Christine, are you finished with your?
No. This is very.
We're gonna skip some things, but we still have a few more things to go.
There are CRA incentives that are mentioned within the RFP that are available to the proposers. So 2 of those right here are the Development Infrastructure Assistance Program and the Land Value Investment Program. And then we also have within the RFP a public-private partnership opportunity available, and they would have to, put that within their proposal, what they are proposing for us to consider in terms of any partnership, along with any of the incentives that they want to take advantage of as part of their proposal. So that's in the RFP as well. And there's also a little line in the RFP that states that if there's other types of proposals or incentives or anything they want to put in their proposal, they are also willing to put it in there for us to consider as well. Then we go into the actual submittal requirements.
Let me go back to that. So I'll just add here with the land value investment program.
Could you go back one more?
Yeah, Thank you. One. Perfect. Okay. So later on the submittal requirements, we discussed land versus purchase land versus land lease. I'll just jump that here since we're going to skip over some of those things. So the land value investment program is a CRA land lease. So the Fairfield Inn is done that way. The Hatcher project was done that way. So it's an option to help with the development of the overall project. So they're not buying the land right away. So that was kind of the question, if we, are still open to that land lease thing, but they have the option to buy later. And through some of these public meetings we've had, there's been discussions about not selling the land at all and keeping it as a very long-term lease, which it may not be desirable to the development community, but it's something that I wanted to bring up that's come up in some of our meeting discussions. So Our program is basically you lease it for a period and then you can purchase it at a certain period of time. We have to look at it and spruce it up now. We haven't used this program in several years, so we'll have to adjust it and update it for this current project. But that's a question if we want to entertain a long-term lease period and not sell ever, or straight sale, just leave the land value investment, or leave it open.
The question is, are you going to get someone, I think looking at those 3 blocks, it's different when you're looking at the grocery store than when you're looking at the block where you have a real benefit to the income you're going to get, right? If the other 2 blocks have housing and they have commercial and retail, they have an opportunity to make money. But the grocery store itself is a very different thing. So I think with the grocery store, you have to allow for the land value investment program.
Okay. So we'll leave it there.
I won't necessarily feel that way about the other 2 blocks, but I think this one, because you're asking someone to come in and put a grocery store there has to be some benefit and desire for them to want to do that.
Obviously,
we're going to
Marriott
have to
liked it,
incentivize
right?
that. We're going to have to incentivize that anyway.
Yes,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to
that.
incentivize it. So
right, in multiple ways. I mean, I think we might have to actually financially, contribute to the project. If there's a public parking component, like with IPIC, we're still working with them on that. So, I think it may be a little bit different than our typical sell the land, build the building, and then move on. But I think there was also discussion in the community members about not selling the land, I guess not giving away or essentially that land. But we have to balance that with how much we want a grocery store. I think that's
that's the question, and I think that's why we separated this out.
Right.
And I think you could treat the other 2 differently, but in this case, you do have to incentivize this project.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, we're not done with investing with that piece of land.
Say that again, Mayor?
We're not done investing in this piece of land. We are going to have to incentivize it.
Right, exactly.
I think we can just go straight to the evaluation criteria.
Okay. Yeah. These next slides, we're just going through the submittal requirements, which are in the draft for you to review. And then the next one is the evaluation criteria. Development team and experience, 30 points. Project concept, 40 points. Financial structure, 15 points. Fiscal impact, 15 points, for a total of 100 points. If there's any, desire to change or add, please let us know.
And we can look at that.
I
as
get
we go.
nervous when we put things in like enhance the set community's unique identity and sense of place, because I don't know how that fits into the grocery store. I think in the development you could say, smaller storefront stores, but this is a grocery store, and I don't know how you give a point to that, the massing and proportion obviously should be there. Pro forma capital, clearly. I just think that one is a little bit difficult for an aspect of evaluation for a grocery store. But other than that, I think it's perfect.
I mean, I see lots of stores that have different sort of models that try and integrate with the community sort of architecture and style,
It's down in the that part is in the, I'm fine with it. I just don't quite know exactly what it.
It is a bit vague, but I think I
Yeah.
get the idea behind it. Maybe we could just clean up the language to make it more specific.
We can spell it. When you go through the RFP, which is like, I think 70 pages at this point, there's more paragraphs and narrative behind it. This is just like summarized.
Okay.
And
Thank
again,
you.
if we're working through this again through the month and consultants and all, we'll end up, kind of cleaning up some of these things as well. So, yeah, since we were going to bring this back and potentially have a consultant look at it as well, we just want to hit those high points.
Right.
So now we'll make a clean draft with legal review with the contract, and then we'll bring it for the meeting next month with the proposal that we received from the RFQ.
This is very exciting.
It is. We're here. I mean, we're making forward
Go
progress.
team.
That's for sure.
More than 10 years later.
It's been a long time, yes.
Holy moly.
And a lot of time in putting the RFP. And Christine did a wonderful job. She did a majority of the
Yes,
composing for
Christine.
this. So we're there. I think we've learned a lot along the way, and we've come up with a document that incorporates many different RFPs and everything to come up with something that's really strong. So we're excited.
Fabulous. Thank
right.
you. It's impressive.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. We're almost done.
Okay, Executive Director comments?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Well, first, I'm glad Marjorie's still here. I just wanted to say thank you to the A-Guide groups who have been working with us and side by side for so many years. I mean, it's kind of strange. It's like the last day of A-Guide for some or most, but they have supported what we have been doing for so many years. It's unfortunate that, we are here where we have to transition and change the program, but it doesn't mean that our relationship doesn't change, or, we're still here for you, and I hope you the same for us. To everyone listening with all the organizations, we're actually put together a small little thank you meetup type thing for the A-Guide participants on October 10th. We'll send it to you all if you want to swing by. Very casual, just kind of a couple bites just to say thank you to them for working with us for so many years. It's at 11 o'clock, and we'll send that to you. So thank you.
Nice.
I'll also wanted to say that the Community Land Trust gave us a little plaque award here for supporting their organization. So as you know, we started the Community Land Trust with the city. This is their 20-year anniversary. So they gave one to us and to the city as well. So just wanted to have this here as a thank you for the contributions to the organization, because it's our organization. I mean, we built it, we've worked on this for 20 years with them, so we're really excited that they're still thriving and growing, and just wanted to show this to you all that we were given this award. And next, so National Night Out will be there next week on October 8th from 5:30 to 8:30. Also, our next plan amendment meeting is October 9th from 5 to 7. That may be a little bit longer, so just work with us on the time, but we're having amazing discussions. I think we were at the library till almost 8 o'clock last night, and I think we probably could have stayed there till 10. I mean, the discussions were very thought-provoking, intense. I had someone come to me and said that she did not want to come to any city CRA type events. She just was, can't bother with this. I don't want to go. And after she said thank you, and she's glad, and she wants to start participating more in things that the city's doing. So that was really that made it for me. I was like, wow. I told her, no, it's a welcoming place. So she was happy to see city staff there. She was happy to see us and, so many of her community members there. So this has been, I think, a very coming together type process. And I'm glad that we're here. And I think the RFP is the same thing. It all just goes hand in hand to working together with the community in a positive way. So the next meeting is October 9th. And then after that, the FRA conference is coming up, the Florida Redevelopment Association, so October 14th through the 17th. And if anyone is interested in participating, even for a day, and want to stop by, just let me know and we can register you for it. It's just up the street, so it's an easy drive instead of making a big trip somewhere. So please let us know and we can register you.
Do you have the program with the classes?
Yes, we actually printed it. It's in your materials on your table. Yes, so take a look and see. Yeah, I mean, I think right now they're up to almost 500 registrants from cities, counties, CRAs across the state. So it's pretty large. I capped it at 450 and already tapped out 2 weeks ago. So, and had to extend it. So very well attended. But it's also down here. They haven't had a conference in this Tri-County area, I think, in probably 8 years. Yeah. So it's pretty well attended one. And next is the oral presentation. So we're going to have a workshop to have the oral presentations for the RFQ for the Northwest 800 block. This will be October 7th, starting at 3 p.m. We've staggered the participants for their presentations. At the end of this, we'll discuss how we want to basically score. If you recall, at the last meeting, we just tabled the item. We did not reject all proposals or anything like that. We tabled the item. So we'll discuss if we want to look at the selection committee's results again or re-rank with the board's input. So we'll just have that discussion in a workshop. There won't be any voting at this meeting. It's just going to be presentations and discussion of the next steps of the process. And then our October meeting is when we'll vote at the end of the month. And then here's just a reminder of the schedule for our meetings. So I just wanted to highlight December. So November. So our meeting currently is scheduled for 4 p.m., but we were told by the city that they have a meeting that's before that might go, I think, a little bit longer, right? Or, oh yeah, so we might have to shift this date or time back. We'll let everyone know, but if in the meantime, we have it right now at 4 o'clock, but we might have to adjust that. And then for December, we don't have a meeting scheduled in December usually, but we might want to try to schedule a meeting on December 1st potentially for the set transformation plan amendment if we can get it all wrapped up in time to have it approved. And then it would be us recommending for the city commission to adopt it. And I already emailed Anthea and city staff about putting a placeholder for us in January or February. So we're hopeful that everything will be wrapped up in time for that. And you'll still be here.
My last one.
Last one, I know. So we'll see if that can work out. We're hopeful. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Board Attorney.
No comments, Madam Chair.
Okay, comments by the commissioners.
Sure.
Commissioner Cassell.
I would say, as always, thanks to staff, and I appreciate you always looking out for the environment with all these products you give us. Renee, I can never thank you enough for your hard work. And to our legal counsel, that was a brilliant idea about staggering that RAC committee. Thank you. And I would also like to say that our very own Renee's husband won the Very Berry Bash at the library over the weekend with his blueberry lemon cake. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Blueberry lemon.
There were rumors it was takeout, but
Yeah. I think he
that's
needs to.
what George Long said, and I'm going
no.
with, if George said it, it's got to be true.
I think he needs a stand at the Green Market.
Yeah.
I know.
We might have to have one at
Not
the meeting.
before
The
Commissioner
board.
Burns, because I've already asked.
How does someone
It was
with like an
beautiful.
8% body fat, your husband, like an award-winning baker?
Oh my gosh.
COVID. He started
Yeah,
baking a
no,
lot during
it doesn't make
COVID,
sense.
actually. He was home too much and started baking cakes. And then he has a knack
Real
for
men
it.
bake.
He just
I
woke
see it in
up-
his future.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you have a second career here in baking
Yes.
cakes. Yeah, so one of the judges actually said he would serve it in a restaurant.
Yeah.
It was that good.
It was
it was restaurant
beautiful.
qualified. He did good. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I know. It was lovely.
Did you finish?
I did. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Market?
No further comments. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Long?
None for me. Thanks.
Mayor? Oh, he's gone?
Back to pub.
International caller checked out. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's, working with CRA is amazing. I love it. And everybody, you guys are amazing. And Renee mentioned it, but I also want to mention that I did attend the end of the year CLT meeting, and the city, we were awarded hold the plaque up again because ours look just like that. And it says, in recognition of 20 years of dedicated support and partnership with the city of Delray. I took a picture of it, and I have it in the car, but I forgot to bring it. But it looks exactly like that, except it says city. So we want to thank the CLT for that. And with that, I'm done. Are we done? Okay, the meeting's adjourned.